Hey, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening, man? Welcome to the VIP Lounge Radio Show. Of course, I am Dirty Eagle, and this is...
Y'all know who it is. It's Candy Girl. How y'all doing on this Thursday?
Hey, man, listen. We got to stop the presses because we have probably the most extraordinary person we have had the opportunity to interview. Now, I've interviewed a lot of artists. I've interviewed a lot of individuals, and to their own testament, they've done some amazing things in their own right.
Of course.
It's the first time I've interviewed a math genius.
A principal?
Principal, teacher, educator.
You have a lot of titles.
There's so many titles to her that...
Mother,
Assata. Yeah, she has a lot of titles. Miss LaMailede.
The Miss LaMailede.
Mama Assata Moore.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you all for having me. It's fantastic to be here. You all are probably one of my favorite couples.
That makes me feel... That made me feel good. You don't have me blessed.
Y'all fun. I love y'all.
Now,
we love you too.
I got to tell you something. I had 5,000 Facebook friends for a long time. I don't know 4,973 of them. My wife used to get mad at me like, "Why do you accept all these different people?"
Everybody.
You know, because I market, I network. So I would just accept anybody, and then it was just crazy. So I started like ciphering through and getting rid of trolls and stuff like that.
You didn't need 3,500 of them.
I didn't. But anyway, I remember the first time I ever saw you. I really do. It's no cap in my rap, like my man's Corey Ether would say. But I remember, and it's so ironic. I seen you on social media, and then I met you in person like a few days later.
He definitely was telling me about you.
Yeah. So you went viral. You had this video, and you changed the dynamic of how I thought. Now I thought differently, but I did not follow up with it, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. But you changed the way I thought about your children when they reach the age of 18. Your video that went viral was about you educating people on why they should not force their children out of the household at age 18. Right. We're truly not ready for it. And what we do is we kind of set our children up to make the same mistakes that we made.
Yes.
And then the most ironic thing, I liked it. I shared it. I was telling people about it. And then I happened to get invited on the AC Green show.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you were on there. What made you make a video like that? Because that's a personal thing, and I know you're big on educating people and stuff like that. But sometimes people like to hide the secret recipe in the sauce, so to speak. So what made you want to open up and share that experience to help us, the regular black folk that want to just throw our kids out there so they can stop using all our light bill? Tired of y'all.
Actually, it's funny because I was actually just being an irritating parent.
Really?
Hey, that's
and
fine.
I wasn't even really into social media. I had just retired.
Wow.
And so I wasn't on social media like that. But I did notice that, and by the way, all three of them were, adopted in some kind of way.
Okay.
So one was my first cousin, one is my second cousin, and then the third, the young lady that was in the video, Taraya, she was actually one of my former students.
Really?
That I ended up adopted, yeah.
Wow.
And so they were all very different backgrounds, and the way in which that they were moving was also different. And so it wasn't always that way because being an educator, being a principal, it was like, hey, you go to college, you do this, and you follow the recipe. And then I had to back off and chill out. It was like, wait a minute, that hasn't worked for everyone. And so allowing them to figure out their own path on their own time.
I mean, to me, that's amazing because we forget as we get older. Not me. I'm still fairly young. Candace, she's the one that thinks like that.
I am so glad.
You see how he throws you out there?
Quickly,
always throws me out of the bus.
Quickly.
Lord, don't strike me down.
Boom. That's the bus
Please
running
don't strike
over.
me. I need him a little bit longer, Lord.
As we get older, we tend to forget the how it is growing up, how we go through all these different challenges, and then the pressures of school and the pressures of just now.
But it's not the
social
same
media.
like it was.
It's not.
When I was growing up.
And it's actually much more difficult.
Way more
difficult. It is. Yeah. A lot of bullying, a lot of cyberbullying.
Just this whole thing of social media.
Social media.
The economy is horrible.
Yeah.
Inflation. I mean, they're getting a lot of different things.
Right.
That we didn't have to deal with.
That is very true. But, I do also feel like we forget that each child that we have has their own different way.
Absolutely.
They're not the same, so somebody might go to college. Yes. Somebody, I ain't going to college. I'm just going to work, and then somebody else is over here just free roaming the world,
Right, exactly.
just doing their own thing. what I do want to ask you is, I know you were a principal.
Yes.
Was it 5 years?
Somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what sparked you to want to go from principal to entrepreneur?
I'm hard-headed. And so, I wasn't doing a very good job with listening to, the board and things like that. And the reason is because I'm Southside, born and raised, 3855 South Ellis, the projects, Madden Park projects, right? And I know how to educate black children. Mm-hmm. So to have to listen to mostly white folks that cannot relate to our community want to tell me and dictate how that's going to happen, that wasn't going very well.
Okay.
So I knew I wasn't going to be the type that was just going to follow the program. And so it was like, okay, I have to have an exit strategy.
Right. I like that.
And so I chose to retire so that I can have freedom to say what I want to do what I want to do, and to be able to truly, jump into this revolution of our people.
Exactly. Yeah. People are always watching.
Yeah. So when you're receiving a paycheck, you have to abide by the rules of the one that's signing your check.
Bite your tongue a little.
Absolutely.
Can't really say. I do have another question to follow up that one.
You ain't finna hog the mic.
Look, I am going to hog the mic today.
No, you're not finna hog the mic today.
So, okay, if you were principal now, what policies would you put in force knowing what you know about, like,
wait a minute.
Absolutely.
That's a good question.
That's a fantastic.
That's a good.
I love
That's a good question.
I love that you asked that. So a couple of things. First and foremost, any person, if I have the power to do all of these things, right? Any person that works in my building, from the secretary to lunchroom lady, so on and so forth, minimum salary should be $100,000.
Ooh, I like that.
Can I work at your school, please?
And so that's minimum salary, because the sacrifice and all that, from the security guard on up, they deal with a lot, and they should be respected.
Do you know how happy everyone would be to wake up in the morning and work at your
school? That's the point.
Exactly.
To be happy, to not have to work 2 or 3 jobs,
exactly.
to be able to enjoy family vacations with their family, right? To not have to worry about retirement, because if they're happy, they're going to do what it is that I need them to do, even if I need to be gone for a week, because I treated my staff well and they did that, right? So when I wasn't in the building, they held it down for me.
Awesome.
That's one piece. The other thing is, I would probably wipe out a good 80% of the curriculum. Shakespeare, irrelevant. He contributes nothing to what it is that they're doing now.
Exactly.
All of this British literature, European literature, all of this stuff that tell us that white folks are great, we can
kill
do without.
Christopher Columbus.
Everything past algebra, we don't need unless they're going into a specific field where they need it.
Science or something.
Exactly. Senior year would be at the student's choosing, meaning that if a student wanted to be an attorney, they can say, hey, I'm checking in and I'm volunteering at an attorney's office today, so I'm not showing up.
Sign me up to go to your school.
Right. I'm not going to school today because I'm going to spend this time at the library doing X, Y, and Z. Right. And as long as they can account for it, we have technology where they can do that. And we don't need to assume that they're going to not do that, because most students are honest anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. So we assume the best in our young people. I would have graduation requirements, part of it being that you had a savings account where you saved a certain amount. You have a couple of investment strategies. You create a wealth plan for your life.
Yes.
And these are the types of things that you submit. And then you study a problem in your community and you propose a solution. So the problem can be that we don't have enough black businesses. The problem can be what's happening where young men are, this carjacking stuff that's going on at a young age. And what can solutions be? So it would be a more forward-thinking approach to education. And, there are things that we can do within the school. One of the things I did was I had a student store. And I let the students take my office, because that was prime real estate area, right? And they set up their store, and they were making about $200 to $300 a day.
Oh my God!
Right, and so you want to change the ways in which that we're doing school, and then the students will be the center of the learning, meaning their history. Show me a school where Jewish children are being taught by majority German teachers. They're learning German history. The principal is German, and they're not learning much about who they are as Jewish people.
History, Wow.
That does not happen. Jewish people do not look to their oppressor and those that slaughtered them to educate their children.
Oh, she's speaking deep truth, y'all. I got chills over here. Please, can somebody get on the board? Somebody.
We are the only people that do that. The Chinese people do not allow the Japanese to educate their
Come
children
on.
because they're constantly at
They
at
are.
odds with each other,
Yeah.
right? That we're the only people that allow that to happen.
Troy, cancel the rest of the interviews.
We don't need to talk to anybody else tonight.
Cancel them all.
Yep. Wipe every slate clean.
You know, one of the things that I found myself, our daytime job, we're insurance brokers. A lot of people don't even know that because we do music and we kind of don't put our regular business out there. We just don't do it. We don't look for business on social media and stuff like that. With you, I mean, so I read up on you. I know in 2009 you got honored with probably the highest award you can have as an educator, the Presidential Award for, it's the
You got it. I'm
Presidential
letting you
Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science.
get it. You bing. That's
This
fantastic.
man is on fire.
That's
Was
fantastic.
it science or physics?
For mathematics
Math
and
and
science.
science.
And
Because
science.
physics is part of
Yes.
science. We'll talk to you later about that. Don't worry about that.
That's what I see in the bio.
It's the red hair. It went over here.
You did.
Nah,
It's really blonde
Y'all are
underneath.
fantastic.
It's blonde underneath here.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Yeah.
good blonde though. So I mean, when we do something like insurance, a lot of people don't know. I'm really, really good at that. I can educate you. I want to make sure you understand the product
He's a
before we
hustler,
leave.
baby.
It's more than it. It's a good hustler.
No, it
though.
is. I'm just playing.
And for a long time, that's my deal. And I'm really
Yeah.
not fearful of leaving that environment. I'm very comfortable because I know how good I am at it.
You're just a great speaker overall, though.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. You don't have to sleep on the couch tonight.
I wasn't.
So with me being so comfortable in the field that I'm in and really very reluctant to leave, with you receiving an award as prestigious as that,
Yes.
with you being invited to the White House back in
Oh my
2015,
That's amazing.
when there's so many things that was a part of your identity as an educator, I mean, how hard was it to leave that environment? I know you dealt with a lot of politics with the administration and stuff like that, with them trying to force you to run your business. Because as a principal, that's your business. You're in
Right.
charge of all those employees. And I know you had to have 80 plus of them. So
you're exactly on point. It was around
Wow.
76, 80. Yep.
Oh,
hold on. So what, I mean, how hard was that to leave your comfort zone in order to go out into the unknown? And I know it wasn't like the complete abyss, the darkness, because you had some idea of what you wanted to do, but how hard was it to leave, and like the students, the relationships with the students and stuff like that in order to embark on something bigger?
Yes. It was extremely difficult. It was kind of depressing as well. You know, I found myself in a fetal position some days. You know, it was kind of hard to let go. But let me clarify first. I didn't actually get the award I was nominated for.
Okay.
And I was a finalist for Illinois.
Gotcha. Okay.
But then I was back in 2015 invited by Michelle Obama for the excellence that I was doing with my students. And so I took 2 students to the White House with me in 2015. But it was extremely difficult. The beauty in that, though, is that all of the students I've ever taught, going all the way back to when I started teaching when I was 18, about 25 plus years ago, anyone that had my cell phone number, they still have it.
Wow.
Because I never changed my number so that they can get in touch with me. And in fact, right now, the text that's coming through is actually from one of my students, right? And so students can always get in touch with me. And I still have great relationships with many of them, including my teachers. And I'm talking white teachers on the north side of Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
You name it. I had Muslim teachers. I had a teacher, one of my favorite teachers, Miss Bibi. She was Iranian.
Wow.
And, you know, black students, black teachers, male teachers. I went on a spree one time where I hired a lot of black male educators, because that's important for our young black men to see people that look like them. And I specifically recruited them from HBCUs. And I wanted people also that had pledged. Even though I didn't pledge and I went to a white university, it's something about the strength of people and the unity and all of people that pledge.
Yeah.
And so even though I didn't do it, I valued what they were bringing from an HBCU and that experience. And it was fantastic for our young people. So I still have a lot of great relationships with the teachers I worked with. I just reached out to my assistant principal the other day, Mr. Lockenbach.
Shout out to Mr. Lockenbach.
Right. My white brother out of Frankfurt.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of diversity, but we still have a lot of great relationships. But that was extremely difficult to walk away from that. And then there's also a certain level of prestige and power that comes with that. When you drop, you know, I'm a principal, there's certain doors and things that open up for you, you know, so losing that type of power and prestige was also something to deal with. A lot of people won't speak to that, but that's real.
But do you really think you lost that? It's many people that look up to you.
Yeah, I don't even think about it anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was at that moment. Maybe I thought I was losing something, right?
I mean, if so many people still reach out to you, you had to impact them in some powerful way,
right?
You know, so
that was difficult. But had I had more power and more control to do it right, I would have stuck with it.
Right.
Once you left, did they ever kind of come knocking at your door on their knees like, please, Mama Assata, please come on back?
The way that I put people on blast, like
that'd be a little too humble for them.
Right.
So with you leaving the being a principal and everything and leaving that behind you, what made you know that real estate and those kind of investments were what you really wanted to do?
Mm-hmm.
I always read a lot. And so in studying wealthy people, what they all had in common, what McDonald's owns more than anything else is real estate.
Real estate is key.
Right. And so if all wealthy people have in common that they own at least some real estate, that was the thing that I went for. And so I started studying real estate in 2004. And then in around January 2004, I bought my Carlton Sheets course. I paid like $3.99 for
I remember Carlton Sheets.
those CDs and everything. Yeah. So that's why my first course is that same price that I paid for it.
Absolutely.
And so I just started studying, and then about a year and a half later, June of 2005, I closed on my first property, which was a 4-unit. And that did wonders for me. You live in a unit, you rent the other units out, the tenants end up paying the rent, you build your equity over a long period of time. I still have that 4-unit. In fact, that's what I live in now.
Wow.
I have 2 of my students that stay upstairs with me. And then it's a family place. I forget how many, it's probably like 9 bedrooms, my bedroom and about 8 guest rooms now.
Really?
Because the young people, so it was a 4-unit, I've converted it to a 4-family home.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a mansion.
Yeah. Right.
It's a mansion on the south side of Chicago.
And so right in the hood.
Right in the hood.
Right in the hood. So I figured out that that's where it was at. And investing, how many people get rich from a job?
None. Absolutely
right.
none.
It doesn't happen that way. So the investing is the piece that's key.
Yeah.
And so I learned how to invest. And once I was like, man, I can get this to where my rental income is replacing my salary. Plus the other stuff is like, this is the way to go.
No brainer.
So I had, look at me, still in the mic.
She is on point.
I'm telling you, look, questions on point.
Questions, right.
So what are the key things we should look for when we're about to invest our money into like stock?
Okay. One is, mindset is extremely important in knowing yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm a high risk investor. And so I'm willing to risk it all. Okay. I'll go into it knowing it's okay, Assata, if you put $1,000 in this, there's a chance you can turn it into $100,000, or your other option is to lose it all. Some people aren't comfortable with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
Okay.
And so I'm high risk. And so there are some people that need to know what their losses are going to be going in. Then you have to consider what's your family situation. If you have children, how much risk you can take.
Right.
So what I tell people is to invest only what you can afford to lose. Invest only what you can do without. So I can't give you that number.
Yeah, okay.
You have to determine that number. And so that's, that would be the main piece, like I said. So know your tolerance level. If you're losing $1,000 is going to make you want to jump off maybe a 5-story rebuilding and break your ankle, then don't do it.
Right.
It's going to want to make you jump off a cliff and kill yourself. Don't do it.
None of the above for me.
Right.
I'm grounded.
Right.
I'm grounded.
Right.
Okay. You
yeah. Hold on. So, because this is a question I've always wanted to ask you. So, I remember, I believe it was on the AC Green show when I was there with you, that when you were a principal, you drove the same car. You didn't feel the need to kind of upgrade and drive a Beamer just to say, oh, Miss Moore, the principal who drives a Beamer.
Right.
And you had teachers that made a third of what you made will pull up in a BMW or Mercedes-Benz, just trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yep.
With the mentality of a large percentage of us having to have to, or not having to have to do it, but figuring that that's what we need to show that we're successful. Has it been really difficult, especially with how enthusiastic you are with wanting us to be wealthy. Has it been difficult with you and black folks to get them to understand that taking your money from this, if we can take you from paying that $400 or $500 car note, break that down to $200 and just spend the extra $300 that you would on a car note towards investments, has it been really difficult to transition the mind frame of the average black person? Because all of us, we're not investment savvy. We think everything is a damn scam.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. And rightfully so. But first, let me speak on this insurance piece, because that's important. Y'all have to have insurance.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's extremely important. We can't do this GoFundMe stuff.
No.
Plus, black folks, we don't do well with GoFundMe anyway. We'll be trying to raise $100 and we get $27. White folks can pop up. I need this money for my dog.
$300,000.
I need $12 million,
For
and
the
they end
dog.
up with $16 million for a damn dog. Okay.
the hell
So
happened here?
that's the insurance piece. Now,
Yes.
has it been difficult? Actually, no.
Really?
Those that I'm able to actually get in with, they get it. But black folks have been, bamboozled a lot.
Yeah.
We thought we were going on a nice little boat ride, but we were bamboozled into slavery. I mean, it's more complex than that.
It
But
definitely
The
was.
boat ride on
being-
Jesus.
right.
On
we were supposed to
Jesus.
get 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah.
And here we are now still begging for reparations.
We didn't even get the
right?
mule.
We didn't even get the mule.
We didn't get the mule.
We didn't get a mule shoes, right? So we've been being bamboozled for a long time. I mean, think about all the fears that we have. Our children, our black men may go out and be killed by the police.
Right.
So there are so many fears and all that we have. And so when we've worked hard for our little piece of money or our big piece of money, we're trying to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I go in with the mindset of thinking positively about our people. And so I go in with, they're going to get it. They're going to do well. And so I tend to get what my thinking is and what my energy is. So when I'm meeting with people, or, this is one of my students right here, Desiree.
Shout out to Desiree.
Hi,
What's
Desiree.
happening?
What's up, Desiree? She's in Florida right now, but this young lady came to me. She had maybe $1,500 in the bank at the time. I'm like, hey, let's do X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. Her portfolio right now is massive. And she's my business partner. We're working on a 6 unit that we're about to do together. So it hasn't been difficult. And I understand when people are hesitant. We've had this Susu run, right?
The flower pot.
The Forex.
Oh,
thing that has come. You have this multi-level marketing where you have to go out and recruit.
Oh, man.
And so people are looking to make a change, and they're getting all this BS stuff that's thrown at them.
We've been victims.
Yes. And so, I try to give them stuff like the courses and things. You pay for it one time. You have lifetime access to it. It's stuff that I've actually used. I've made the mistakes on it. So it hasn't been all glory. It's been, I've had to deal with foreclosure. I've had to deal with bad credit. I've had to deal with a loss of income, my property not making it the way that I thought that it should make it. So all of those hardships is part of the learning and what I put in the course, trying to prevent them from doing certain things.
And speaking of the course, I went online and I sent the Intravest.
Yes.
I think that's amazing that you took something that you were really passionate about as far as educating, because at the core of who you are is an educator. So you took that passion of being an educator and you made an online course called Intravest, where everything that you've endured, every hardship that you went through and all the learning curves that you went through, you've eliminated them. And you've given people access to really something that's been tried and true. Like you've actually experienced this stuff, and you're giving people the opportunity to capitalize on it. And for $400, it's a steal compared to the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars you spent having to learn it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it has been thousands and thousands of dollars. And the years, like I said, I've been studying real estate since 2004. When I'm studying crypto, so the other night when I was done working or whatever, I finished about 8 p.m. I stay up from 8 p.m. to 4 in the morning studying crypto. Now, I'll take all that learning and put it maybe in a 30-minute learning segment.
Wow.
But that's a lot of time to put into learning. And I do this often. While I was sitting waiting in the car here, I was pulling up, reading, doing some more. So I'm always learning. But what I'm looking to do is, because I'm an educator, is to condense it.
Right.
So that I can give it to someone that doesn't have that type of time. Right? Because we're always saying, well, if I did it, you can do it. Well, our situations aren't the same.
Right.
If this is a single father, he has 2 or 3 children, he's working, doing it, he needs something quick.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's for
and
sure.
so that's my mindset of thinking. And if I'm trying to target an audience that isn't making money, I can't have $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 course, right?
I'm gonna get like 20 of my people together. Like, oh, we on wild.
And I tell people that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
tell people that if you can't, if someone, man, I got to do it. Get a couple of people, share your username and password. Y'all do it for Netflix.
See now
there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, because make the money, and you all are going to tell other people about me when it's working for you.
So it's gonna come
So
back
you don't
anyway.
have to, take all the money from the people up front.
Right.
It can flow in over a period of time. What you're looking for is to drastically turn this mindset and this wealth gap that we have.
No.
And so if we're doing that, then it's all good. And plus, if I'm really doing what's in the courses, all of my money shouldn't be coming from the courses anyway. It should be from what I'm telling people to do.
Your investment strategy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's
right.
just an extra set of income
That's
that you have
an extra
coming
set
in.
of income, and you got to charge people for something.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
get it for free. They don't value it.
It's like when you
So-
give somebody a
okay.
book, right? If you give someone a book, then they're probably not going to read it. But
Probably
if you
not.
make them purchase that book for $10 to $20,
Absolutely.
now they have an investment involved
Yes.
with it.
Same with the kids.
Yes.
What you
When
mean?
you just handing out the
When you
kids.
I thought you
just
talking
when
about
you just giving the
just,
kids,
like,
oh,
give your kid.
oh, like today I got Desire a jacket that she wanted, right? But I really didn't get it with my money. I kind of used her money. She was like, "Oh, you bought me a gift." I
Nope.
sure did. Right with your debit card.
She don't
And
take
she
care
gonna
of it.
take care of it.
Yes,
You do take
absolutely.
care of that. I know you were talking about Bitcoin on Facebook. I seen a little bit of stuff today.
Yes.
So what I wanted to know is two things: is Bitcoin for everyone, and how can the Black community benefit from Bitcoin?
Y'all questions, man. Man.
She is
That is, that's
I
fantastic.
might just not sleep in the bed. Just get you the whole bed. tonight.
Yes, run tonight. Been stretch out. Let my hair down.
I'm gonna rub your feet tonight. Girl, you doing good.
I just really appreciate you all, seriously.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Fantastic question. I believe that Bitcoin is for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
The return on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in particular, excuse me, has been greater than any other asset ever.
Wow.
Ever. Even more so than Bitcoin was this particular cryptocurrency, IOTA actually, that had a return. I think I look at it today, it was like 685,000%.
Whoa.
So if we were
Return.
invested
And this was in
1,000
2017. I mean, you're multimillionaires,
Oh my God.
billionaires even at this point.
Oh my
And
God.
only a few people were in that space. I didn't catch that particular one, but I have been in Bitcoin for a little while. And so if it's for me to make that type of money, then it's for other people as well.
Right.
And so what I tell people, even if you're starting with $10, $50, just put in as you can over a period of time.
Okay.
So why do I believe that it's for everyone? How many Black people have bars of gold or multiple stocks? We usually miss out on this stuff. We
Yeah.
hear about it afterwards.
Exactly.
This is still an opportunity to get in on Bitcoin while it's still young,
Right. Fresh, kind of.
fresh.
Yeah.
Because right now you had a person from, was it JP Morgan Chase, that basically said, no, it was from BlackRock, the largest hedge fund in the world. They're over trillions and trillions of dollars. And they basically said that gold is done with.
Yep.
It's Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gold is done with. So here's what you think about. Right now, Bitcoin is 1 trillion. Let's round it. Let's round gold. Gold right now is about 10 trillion. So in order for Bitcoin to get to gold's value, it has to 10x.
Right.
That means that Bitcoin would be worth more than $500,000. It's only 58,000 right now.
Wow.
Now, if it's going to become that store of value, I'm thinking over the next 4 years, about 4 to 5 years from now, Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million. So it's still early, and this is an opportunity to have a long-term plan
Right.
for investing in Bitcoin. And yes, Black people need to get into this because we're always missing out.
We are always missing out.
I mean, in early in the 60s, when they were coming back from the wars, they gave white folks the opportunity at grants to buy homes. They gave us the projects and denials, red lines,
Yes, they did.
stocks. We've missed out on that.
Yep.
Gold, we don't have gold. So all of the major assets that build wealth, we don't have.
Right.
So Bitcoin is an opportunity to jump in. And so even if they're not buying the course and they go to the website, there's a page there where I have different links where they can open up Voyager account, Coinbase account, and they can do those things. Because if they can't pay for my course, then just start Googling and putting in time. If you can't pay money, then pay with your time and learn it for free. And then go to my links and open up your accounts, because you can get $10 in free Bitcoin, $25 in free Bitcoin by using those particular links.
Nice.
And I think that's what you said is extremely important. Gold is not where it used to be. I mean, I remember at one point we already know that the American dollar is worth absolutely not even the paper that it's printed on.
Right.
At one point, it was backed by gold, and then it was backed by steel. And then when our planes started leaving America and going overseas, we didn't even have the steel to back the American dollar anymore. So what do we have that we can invest in that's a strong instrument that has a proven track record? Now, when you're investing in stocks and stuff like that, of course, it fluctuates. But I don't think crypto is one of those investment tools that you hopscotch in, in and out. That's something that you really want to have for the long haul, so to speak.
I mean, and so people are about to get this stimulus check again, right?
Right.
So I have some data right here. That first $1,200 that we got, had they invested in gold, it would be less than $1,200 right now, to be $1,178. Had they invested in the S&P, some stocks, they would have made about $400. It'd be worth $1,648. The NASDAQ, a little more, $1,803. Had they invested in Tesla, that $1,200 right now would be $4,628. Pretty good.
Tesla's doing pretty good.
No one knew to invest in AMC when the
when this hit,
right.
Yeah.
But had they did that, it would be worth about the same as Tesla, $4,600. If they invested it in Bitcoin, it'd be worth almost $10,000.
What?
That's not the best one though. Had they invested instead in Ethereum, it would be worth $14,000. Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency. That's still not good. Had they invested in ADA, which is Cardano, it's about the 5th or 6th largest crypto right now. That $1,200 stimulus check right now would be worth $44,800.
Somebody, wait.
Yes.
What did we do with our check?
We didn't get one.
Oh, we didn't get one.
Crypto beat all of those.
Oh,
it beat the S&P. It beat gold. It beat the NASDAQ. It beat Tesla.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm baffled. I don't even.
What do we do now?
I think that
Look at you, Kay, speechless, and you talk all the time.
Rarely speechless.
Somebody give him some milk.
I think it's extremely important for people to put themselves in a position to win.
Yes.
And I think sometimes as Black people, we tend to not really put ourselves in a position to win just by the network of individuals that we're involved in. Just looking back, just seeing posts from you and the individuals that you're involved with, from your coaching and probably one of the most phenomenal individuals we know who did her TED Talk today. Shout out to Sarita Love. I mean, being in a circle like that, being in a circle with a Mel Robeson and individuals that they're on a different wave, and the information that you guys can share with one another to continue to push each other to a different plateau really is a testament to how you're really winning.
Yes.
No, you really truly are the sum total of the people that you're involved in. So if all I'm involved with, I say, for instance, rappers, right? If all I'm around is rappers that don't even know how to promote themselves, so I'm gonna be a rapper that don't know how to promote myself. Yes. If I'm around an individual that knows how to do marketing, then of course I'm gonna pick up those tools and those traits and learn how to market. We have to put ourselves in a position to win and learn how to get with a network of individuals that truly want to have the success for one another, not hoard all the information in as Black people. And I'm not gonna lie, I will hoard the little information. But not hoard it and not give it to you. I'll make you pay. I'll make you pay for it.
That's your white side.
No, I'll make you pay for it.
That's your white side.
You make you pay for it.
It's white side.
You gotta pay for it. I learned it.
You gotta pay for something, right?
Yeah.
And you put your time in it. You probably pay for something to learn it. Yeah.
Thousands. Right. Doing the music.
But then you also share, because what you're speaking about, you just posted on this the other day.
Absolutely.
About the rappers knowing. So that was a free.
That's a free
tidbit,
tidbit,
gave,
right?
Exactly.
But I do I'll give you an example. I do marketing for the music. So I've thousands of dollars and thousands of hours I've spent on learning how to market. I knew music was gonna be a different thing to go into, and people were gonna be totally shocked, like, what the hell is this dude doing music? But it was something that I had a passion for a long time. I knew that just being a rapper wouldn't be sustainable. I had to learn how to market this product. Yes. So now I give other rappers the opportunity to take my services, purchase them, and I'll market for you on your behalf. That way you can continue focus on what's best for you, which is being a rapper. So I do know that you became an author as well. Like when I say you've done
hats
everything.
off to you. This is
This
for
the
you.
toast for her.
The toast for Assata. Melody.
So I know you've made 2 books. You've been a part of 6, right? Was it 6 books that you were involved in? I know you actually
there are
authored
other
2.
education books.
Right, so like curriculum books and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I know you did one. Let me go to my notes. The one book you did was The Wealth Formula.
Yes.
My favorite one though is Get Your Shit Together.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's like my favorite.
You better get your shit together.
Right.
Get your.
So you know,
Sorry. That's the one.
what made you? Because I know, as always, you're an educator at the heart of who you are. What made you decide to formulate and just create your own book? I know you wrote curriculum books, and that's a little bit different from the average book that you will read, because that's more geared towards educators, and this is something that's going to help them with their field and everything like that. What made you decide to write a book for the average folk like me and Candy Girl?
I'm not average.
Yes, and so, you know, I decided to, you know, write a book for extravagant people, right?
Right.
Because I was looking for different ways to get as many people under the umbrella as I could. And so if they can't afford the $400 course, then maybe they can afford a $20 book.
Absolutely.
Right.
Amazing. Yes.
And then, you know, people have different intelligences. So some people may do well with the course and looking at the video, so on and so forth. But then there are other people that have a different type of intelligence where they like reading.
I'm a visual learner.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hands
we
on.
all have different types of intelligence. So I was just trying to reach as many people as possible. And then I wanted it in the simplest terms as possible. And I wanted to be able to give them direct action steps. So at the end of each chapter, I have what's called edu-action steps. And so it's one thing to just read a book and not do anything with it. I want people, anything that they purchase from me, I actually want them to use it.
Absolutely.
And so if you pay for it, I told one young lady, she was just buying all my courses, and then I hit her, was like, don't buy anything else, use it.
Right.
You know, I like the money, but I want you to use it.
Exactly.
You know, and so the book, you know, it starts with mine, and if you look at shit, it's actually, you know, savings, happiness, investment, and time.
Wow.
Right.
Nice.
And so it's you know, it starts with the mindset, you know, focus on your credit, getting your money right. And really building so that we can build this generational wealth that is so necessary for our children and for our future.
Wow. Now I know you've made six figures a year probably for the last 20 plus years. You're in a different bracket than the average black folk. But one thing that I really marvel at is that you are still in the hood. You've never left. Why? Because I mean,
You know,
like me, I'm running up a bag. I ain't gonna lie. I went from the west side of
There's
Chicago.
just a certain comfort waking up to the melodic sound of gunshots.
It is. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, let me get my coffee.
No, I'm just joking.
Pow, pow, pow. Oh, it doesn't like that gunshot. Almost hit me.
Oh,
Bam! It went right across my
You know,
head.
that was one of my texts. You know, one of my students was like, "Hey, are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah." Why you said it? Oh, we just heard gunshots outside. I was like, "Oh, I'll be fine by the time I get home."
oh my
But-
gosh.
The thing is that, you know, we have to make some extreme sacrifices as black people. And so when I became a principal, I really wanted to live downtown off Roosevelt,
Oh yeah.
to be able to easily drive to work, but also to be able to walk around and enjoy, you know, stuff. But here's what I knew about myself. I knew that had I did that and they gave me a bellman and a nice view overlooking water, that was it.
That's
I was
it.
done with the
You
revolution.
plateaued.
Right.
I was going to be one of those people that's saying, what are they doing?
Right.
We
Right.
need to get
What's
it together.
wrong with you
What's
niggas?
wrong
Right.
with you people, right? So I had to make sure that I stayed within the struggle to be able to understand and help
Wow.
with the struggle. And I wanted to live where my students live. I wanted to experience and see the things. And now, you know, I've been there for 15 years. I have, you know, my next Mexican neighbors across the street. They look out for everything. My next door neighbor, Bob, looks out for everything.
Hey, Bob.
And
Shout out to
so,
Bob.
you know, it's you know, it's part of the work. You know, I'm a role model in the community.
Yeah.
I'm buying properties that are on my block. I'm buying the lots. And so it's the heavy lifting of building our communities up literally, you know, by our own hands and by our own sacrifices. And so that was the reason to do that. It's just different when you move out of the community. And I had to really think about that because I really wanted to live in a high rise.
Yeah.
Now this is my
Yeah.
my last question. I know we're gonna wrap things up. Our other guests are coming in the building, but Miss LaMailede,
Yes.
you just got
Mama Assata.
you just got a home in the South, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
For your,
Oh, our new
for your
vacation
family.
home.
Right. Yeah.
Our new
Well, let me
vacation home.
finish.
I'm just saying, that's our new vacation home. This Auntie
Y'all
Assata.
y'all coming down to
Just
shoot a
forget
video,
it.
right?
Yes, we
Man, don't play with me.
don't play
Be me,
No, I'm
just PK,
we can
Sinatra's,
I
me in
said
the building.
family
in
and
the
friends.
building.
I said, hey,
Did y'all hear this?
Whenever y'all ready.
We
Okay,
here.
so What led you wanting this for your family, and why did you choose that location? Because I'm from the South.
Real quick, shout out to Candace and her.
Shout out to
Candy
me.
girl is coming
Yes.
with the pain today.
So the first thing, I also have adoptive parents. So I have my mom, Deborah Moore, and then I have adoptive parents, Freya and Griffin Rivers. And so they're down there. They're older. And
What location
I want
is it?
to
Is it South?
Baton Rouge.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I wanted to be down there as they're getting older, help so on and
Right.
so forth. And then it was actually a property that they had that was a heavy weight on them. So I wanted to help and take it off their
That's
hands.
a nice, beautiful
Yeah.
property. Oh my God.
Yes. And so I did it for family because we grew up close. And then you know how when you get older and cousin starts having rifts, so on and so forth. And so I'm kind of having to discipline everyone. Like, okay, we're not doing gossip. We're not talking about each other. Everyone spread everyone's business, so get over it. That's just what aunts
Right.
do, right?
Exactly.
So it was a thing to bring family together. And then for my younger cousins, like I'm taking 13 of my young cousins from age 4 on up to, 15, 16 years old. I'm taking all of them to Vegas in a couple of
God
weeks.
bless you.
And then we're going to go over to California as well. But it's teaching them the importance of family. And so that's why I did that, so that we can Airbnb within the family, if you will. And so we can go down at different times. People don't have to pay for it. They have a place. I'll get a car down there, so we'll have a car or whatever. The kids have an indoor pool so they can swim all day and night.
Yes.
Come on.
We have a hot tub. We have multiple bedrooms. And so it's just a place to make sure that you really have to put in work to build your family, and you have to humble yourself. And I've gotten into it with my sister's boyfriend, so on and so forth, but when they apologize, I had to accept it,
Of course,
move
yeah.
on. But it's like you put your hand on my sister again, I
Exactly.
showing up in black at 3:00 in the morning
For
for
sure.
the shit out of it,
Exactly.
right?
Put up that ass.
But I'll accept your apology. It's sincere, and we can move on. So it's hard building family, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my last question, and I know we have to wrap up, but there was something I did not get into, and I wanted to make sure we get
I have to be a part 2.
No,
for
we
Mr.
definitely gonna get you on
LaMailede.
a part 2,
Absolutely.
but I do want you just quickly to hit on something that you posted about. You're very passionate about, and I understand why from different positions, but the weed industry. I
Yes.
know you had a big passion for getting us to invest in it. How has it been trying to get in that industry? I mean, I know you were really trying to get together almost like a hedge fund, or not a hedge fund, but some type of fund that we can all get together and invest in that. For so many years, we were criminalized for selling marijuana, and now it's an open product that anybody, well, not anybody can get into. There's a chosen few that they're allowing.
Yes.
So how hard has it been to really, truly get involved in that industry?
It pisses me off to no end. I mean, the fraud, the corruption that's involved in that. So here are the exact numbers. Out of all of the dispensaries in Illinois, 1 is black owned, 2 are owned by Hispanics, 12 are owned by Asians, 204 are owned by white folks.
That's
Whoa.
bull.
When in the fuck did Asians and white folks go to jail en masse, have their communities destroyed, their men locked up, their communities just desecrated? When
Right.
did that happen? That happened to black families.
Exactly.
And black men were the face of cannabis when it was a criminal enterprise. And now that they're making millions and billions off of it, it has become a white face. You have young white girl bud tenders. Where were white girls locked up for selling drugs?
Right.
You have young white boys now that are making millions. But when they were selling it, the police dropped them back off to their parents. They carted black men off to jail. And now they have systemically excluded us for the industry. You have people that are government officials that are receiving licenses. You have former cops that are receiving licenses, people that locked us up, governments that set the policies to lock us up. You have millionaires. One of President Clinton's friends is in this industry in Illinois. And so they have systemically locked us out of an industry that should rightfully be ours. And so I've been fighting it. Just really going in on the people with it. Money wasn't an issue. Writing the application wasn't an issue. I had a solid application. My score was well. I brought in, investors to do it. We all put in our money. We submitted, did our things, so on and so forth. But they have systemically locked us out of the process. And so I've been fighting that. That's why I've been doing the protests and different things like that. I'm just sick of, they get us on everything. And then they look at us as if we're the uncivilized one,
Yeah.
right? And so, I mean, it's really, really hard, but you know, it's a fight, and it's one that I've been fighting. So
when we bring you back on the show,
We're
hopefully
gonna
all
go
of
into
that
more
is
of it.
taken care of, and you'll have it
yes,
open.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
listen, man, you are beyond amazing. The history that you have, the revolutionary mindset that you have, the things that you've accomplished, and the ways that you continue to strive to help us out, Black people, and how you do not prejudge. It doesn't matter how little education, how highly educated we are, you'll always fight for us. And I really, truly appreciate from the moment
you
I
so
seen that
much.
viral video to the moment I
Thank
met you on AC Green, from following you, having you in tune with some of these amazing people I've met, and then meeting individuals through you. You are truly a godsend that we all should be in tune with. If you are not a part of the Intravest.com course, make sure you get in tune with that.
Yes.
If you can't afford the course, get with 10 buddies and invest $40 a piece, share that password and use the name. It's all about building wealth, y'all.
Building wealth.
Yes,
Making
It's
them
all-
dollars.
It's all about building wealth.
And I'll leave you all with this
Yes, ma'am.
Egyptian piece. Kwasaneb, Wajajet, Ketneret, Neferet, Mi Jet. May you all have all life, all health, all prosperity, and all good things like the sun forever. Hotel.
That is beautiful.
On that note, man.
Yes.
Hey, this
Miss
is
LaMailede.
Hey, no, man. That's Mama
Assata.
What you talking about? Hey, man, this is VIP Lounge Radio Show. I'm Dirty Eagle. That's Candy Girl.
You
And
know
this is
what
the
it is.
phenomenal LaMailede Assata
Assata.
Moore, man. We'll be back with our next guest, Just PK. Hey, man. Troy. DJ Troy, Engineer Troy, Videographer Troy, everything Troy. Drop that for me, man.